Dus jouw gesprek.
There is
Ik hou wel aan.
Titanic. Titanic Part 1. You heard there's Titanic Part 2 coming up.
Oh, ja.
I don't think it will be about the ship.
About what then?
It will be about more like a drama. Like I saw a little piece when they you can see it on YouTube. They have like a clip with Leonardo DiCaprio. They pick him up out of the ice. Strange one.
Oh, they pick him up out of the ice and he's still alive.
And they melt the ice. Jack is back. Eh?
Well, yeah, but this
And
then
they pick him out the ice. They find him at the ice,
and he's still alive.
and he's still alive. Then he escapes.
But he,
Like Captain America story.
but then he goes to Rose. But he leaves Rose. He never goes back
Then he
to
goes
Rose.
search for Rose. Then he finds Rose. And then they get married, and they're like man and wife, and then you have
about the truth.
a drama.
Everyone knows what it is, however long they've lived without it.
Well, that's one of the good things
How does
about
that fit
parents.
in the story?
The only place
the
that
first story. With the first story, you see the old lady and never speak about his relation
Wanting to go back to?
with him. So how does that fit in?
Yeah, it's a good question, but I think they also brought her back after she died. I think this was like in the future. And they had like some cloning stuff going on also.
Is that true?
They cloned the Rose.
Yeah, oh yeah, clone. Oh, this looks like clone.
They brought her back via cloning. I think she died, and then
Jesus.
after she died, 5 million years already. Okay. Oh, this was published on the 2012. It's an old one. Yeah.
But
I don't think
isn't this is not real? I think this is
fake.
yeah.
I think I heard they were making a new one.
Titanic 2 to set in sail in 2018. Oh, that's a replica. This just the boat. The boat. It's not a movie.
Okay, the official Titanic. It's 2013.
We have the ship
Titanic.
involved in the project development.
Delta Marine as an independent started about 20.
What is this, man? This is hoaxy. This is about the real ship, not the movie.
Maybe raising the Titanic. But there's like a theory that the Titanic did not sink. You had like a Titanic sister ship, Olympic.
The Olympic and the Titanic, yeah. Almost a copy. It's a copy.
Yeah, it's a
with
copy of
another
one.
name.
Yeah, this one was serial number 401 Titanic, and this one 400.
All right.
And they like YouTube video that said
Titanic facts.
Titanic facts.
Titanic was a Royal Mail ship, a designation which meant the Titanic was officially responsible for delivering mail for the British Postal Service.
Mail ship.
And
Did not sink. We've been told lies. The Titanic didn't sink.
Hi guys, I think you all heard about
But
the
this is not-
legendary Titanic.
I thought it was
It's
clickbait,
been
but
over
it's not
100
clickbait.
years since it sank in the
It didn't
bottom of
sink,
the
but
Atlantic,
the
never
other one
finishing its
sank.
first ever cruise. But
Oh,
did
okay.
you know all the weird
Olympic
stuff
sank.
that's
What's
been
the
going
line?
on
I wanna
during
see.
its construction and throughout the trip?
Sorry,
I
what's the
suggest you
What
guys
is the
spend
line?
a few minutes to learn some
Line?
truly
You've been
fascinating
told
facts
nothing.
about the
It's
great
Titanic.
Titanic.
didn't sink. So how? What happened then?
In the year 1909, a huge iceberg split of the Greenland glacier. It had a length of about 1 kilometer and weight of 2.5 million
They know
tons.
everything about the
At the
iceberg,
same
but they
time,
don't
the
know anything
construction
about
of
the
the
Titanic.
world's biggest ship of that period and the maximum civilian power that played photograph, not the number, eggs, 3 tons of tomatoes, 40 tons of potatoes, 5 tons of sugar, and other high society. But it was quite the catastrophe. First Officer Murdoch ordered to turn left and set the full route according to plan. They could have saved at least 553 more people. So it seemed like on the 14th of April, members of the crew tried to wake the captain, but the former only said that the radio man is off duty and asleep. Another ship called Samson was even closer to Titanic. A so-called conspiracy theory appeared because of an uncanny resemblance of Titanic and a vessel called Olympic. Supporters of this theory suppose that these twin ships switched in order to cover the insurance cost after the incidents with the English vessel the Hawk.
Like this Olympic ship hit the another ship, but it was the Olympic fault, so they did not get any insurance money, and they had to, for the reparation, they had to repair the ship, they had to pay a lot of money, but they were like almost bankrupt, the shipping company. So they switched the ship's number and made the Olympic the Titanic and the Titanic the Olympic, because the Titanic was just the new built one, and they sank the old ship, the Olympic, that was already 1 year sailing and had a damage that was very expensive to repair. They like fixed the whole little hole quickly with some quick job to just make it float for like half trip, and eventually they hit an iceberg.
Didn't hit the iceberg. Some people are saying that it was hit by a German torpedo.
Now that's another one. But this one, they deliberately hit some iceberg just to make
cost after the incidents with the English vessel the Hawk. Although this theory is proven to be wrong, as the plate with 401 number on it was lifted from the ocean bottom. 401 is Titanic's construction number. Another theory.
Yeah, but they can easily switch the number, of course. It's like a plate. You just take off the number from like a number plate, screw it on the other ship. It's the most common fraud in ship and boats. It was the Titanic switch with the Olympic. This one also going to that.
To recover insurance money to rescue the White Star Line from bankruptcy.
See, from bankruptcy. So, and you know who the owner was?
No.
J.P. Morgan.
Yeah. Okay.
Olympics crash with HM.
Look what happened. Yeah. And he just before the trip, he said, "I am sick. I cannot make it."
Yeah.
And when the ship sank, they were looking for him, and he was like in southern France with his mistresses and having parties. You know, he was not sick at all.
RMS Hawk.
This happened. Then they cover it up.
Another key component of the switches theory is to state that damage to
This is a
HMS
fact that
Hawk
happened
was
for
much
real.
more
The ship
substantial
got hit
than what
with
is
another
thought.
with a British ship.
However, the Olympics damage from HMS Hawk did not exceed $125,000, and there is independent verification of this fact. Olympic.
So they insured the Titanic with a lot of money before it went out to sail. Just before it went out, they insured it like
was damaged badly enough to
millions
force the
of dollars
voyage to be cancelled. 2 major watertight compartments were flooded. Her hull plating was gashed. The starboard propeller shafting damaged. 3. Olympics service record. How can a ship with a bent keel go on to serve 24 years without being fully repaired?
Yeah.
The fact that the Olympic,
because the ship that got damaged, the Olympic, the Olympic, or was the Olympic, and then it went. How can that ship go on for 24 years sailing with a big hole in the?
went on to serve 24 years with a damaged keel. Surely doesn't stand up.
So that's why they think they swap it with the good ship, Titanic. And this is actually
Could this
Titanic.
ship actually be the newer Titanic, and the Olympic is the ship at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean? 4. Surviving crew members had to
I
sign
think
the
they changed the
Official
numbers,
Secrets Act.
the serial number.
The surviving
For the
crew
insurance
were
money, you know,
detained
they say-
overnight and forced to sign a
This is
pledge
Titanic
under
number
the Official Secrets Act,
401,
promising
and
to
that's
keep
the
secret
Olympic number
forever
400.
the actual events of the night of 14th
everything
and
is
April
exactly the same,
15th,
only the number are
1912.
But how easy is it to
The
switch the
origin of
number
this
and to
seems
switch
to
the
have come from Paddy the Pig, also
paint the
known as
architecture
James
drawings?
Fenton, who late in
Just
life
erase the
related
400
the
and
following.
put 401.
When the surviving crew got to port, they were all taken aside and met by two men, one in a high position in the company. The other man was in a very high position in the government. The government men read the crew the Official Secrets Act, explaining that if they told of the real reason for the sinking, or the rumors of an insurance scam, they would serve a minimum of 20 years in jail, and would never get a job when they got out. Paddy said that the great
There's
toll
some
in the
guys
repair
that they were
voyage
like, yep,
show a
they were
large
threatened.
area of disco. This section does not.
That's how they launched. This was the Titanic. You see, it's just black here. Like they painted it, you see, and here it's a bit white.
Not match the rest of the newer ship. It's also in the same location as Olympic's hull. Was damaged by HMS Hawk. 6.
They put like
Lack
a
of
plate
publicity
just to
for the
cover it up.
Titanic. Did you know that the Titanic was never shown the enormous publicity that Olympic received the year before? By the time Titanic's maiden voyage came along, Olympic had been operating for a year. Titanic, although only just superseding her sister in size, was no longer big news, or so they would like you to believe. The claim is, the public and media were not as interested in her maiden voyage as that of her sister. Or is this just the way they wanted it to be? They don't want too many eyes on the Titanic, if it's really the Olympic. After all, the Olympic had huge publicity.
Yeah.
7.
They kept it
No
small
public inspection of the Titanic.
compared to the Olympic.
While Olympic was open for inspection by the press and public, in both Belfast and Southampton, Titanic was not open for any inspection at all, except
It was
in the
not open
Board of
for
Trade inspection.
before they put
The
it to
fact
sea.
that
Why
Titanic
not?
left Belfast and then Southampton in something of a hurry with none of the fanfare of the Olympic. Just one day of sea trials, no stop in Liverpool, and no opening to the public in either Belfast or Southampton seems a little strange, don't you think? 8. The Titanic's sea trials were really short. Olympics trials in 1910 took 2 days, including several high-speed runs, but is this because switched in? Cancelled at the last minute.
Yeah.
Cancelled passengers. Interestingly, more than 50 first-class passengers cancelled at the last minute, many of them friends and business associates of J.P. Morgan and Morgan himself, who had money tied up in the White Star Line, also cancelled claiming that he was ill. Morgan was found 2 days later by a reporter in good health at a French resort with his mistress.
A French resort. I'm ill, I cannot make it.
Morgan also
How do
had
you
several
meet a French
valuable
resort?
bronze statues removed from the ship, just 1 hour before she sailed. Florence Ismay, wife of J. Bruce Ismay, chairman of White Star, also cancelled, along with their children.
all the big guys
lifeboats
cancelled.
had small brass ID plaques screwed on them, and they all said RMS Olympic.
All the lifeboats had Olympic on it. And that's why they maybe had few lifeboats to save people.
After the sinking, 13 lifeboats were recovered, taken to New York, where the name Titanic was sanded off, and numbers removed to deter souvenir hunters.
They
During this
removed all the
process,
numbers
workers
and the name on
allegedly
the
filled with
lifeboats.
putty used. Presumably the 13th lifeboat, recovered by when the boat was handed over to the Sea Scouts. As a thank you, some,
found the
while
Titanic
the gunwale,
number.
Hassler for Demolition Scout Group.
On the
Sea
lifeboats
Scout,
they found it.
after the sinking years.
In the fraud you
recovered
cannot cover up
24
everything. You
years
cover up a
with
lot. Like the
Olympics craft
big
maritime
numbers,
insured.
drawings, but
The
some
starboard
small thing
propeller
remains.
shafting would never.
So there's clearly a motive
trials
to put the Titanic, change the Titanic into Olympic.
Was the Titanic switched?
Yeah, I think so. To me, they switched it. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you think about it.